Hey there. Hope you're doing well. Listen, I thought it would be good to pull back the curtain on something and really give you a view. And what I'm doing right now is we're actually recruiting for a new member of our team. We're recruiting for someone to be a coach to help people build their businesses. And so I thought it might be useful if I pulled back that curtain and just showed you exactly what our process is. We have a unique process that really does work well. And in fact, our clients sometimes, in fact, one of our clients the other day said, I can't believe I work this well. In fact, I was very skeptical, but now I know that it will work. And so we do it over and over again. So I'm going to give you a system of hiring that I believe works really well. And I'm going to pull back the curtain. You feel free to use it. What we find is most people need a little bit of assistance and implementing the system once they get it down. A lot of times they can do it. We have one client right now, Jason's helping them with hiring, and he's actually doing the hiring because they simply don't have time to invest to get the proper person on board. That's usually the biggest problem we see with business owners and other, in our in businesses that have, 1 to say 10 million, they don't have the personnel to actually invest the time to to hire the appropriate people. So let me pull back the veil for you and tell you a little bit about what we do. So my first belief is that you have to have a philosophy. I'm going to share a few of my points of my philosophy of hiring, but you got to develop your own philosophy of hiring in your business. So here's one of my philosophies. One of my philosophies is that you need to slow down. You probably all heard the thing, hire slow, fire fast. You should slow down so that you get the right people, because this whole thing is about finding people with the right fit. So, the first thing you want to do is slow down. The second thing you want to do is you want to use a deselection process rather than a selection process. I have saying that you want to fish with a net, not a hook. That's another piece of the philosophy. You want to get a whole bunch of candidates in, and then you want to throw back the ones that don't work. Because remember, it's about fit. They don't want to be here. You don't want to have them be here. Why would you want to get the wrong? But if you don't have any comparison, you can't do it. So you can't come up with the right person. So another one of my philosophies is I always like to have multiple interviews, different kinds of interviews. Remember the slow down. You don't just do one interview and hire somebody in most positions that you're looking to hire from. I always like to have a lady interview them in addition to me, so that way we get both viewpoints. There is a thing about women's tuition; it works. So I'm a big fan of getting multiple people, multiple interviews. Use don't hire the best of a bad bunch is another one of mine. So what you want to do is write down all your philosophies, and they'll become your rules of hiring. So the first thing is you get philosophies. One of my other philosophies is you want to go who before what. Now, what I mean by who before what? Who before what is you want to get clear on who you want before you decide what it is you want them to do. Now, you probably already know, for example, you need an admin, or you need a salesperson, or you need a vice president, or you need a president, or you need a CEO. Any of those things we can help you do. Now, look, so I have a process that you just get a sheet of paper to determine who you want. I did this for our people. And you have 4 columns. And it's called ASCC. The first column is attitudes. So maybe in attitudes, you want detail oriented, you want friendly, you want driven. You come up with the attitudes, you write them all down. You're going to want to get as many as you can, probably 15 to 20. Then you want skills. The S stands for skills. So let's say we're hiring an admin. Maybe you want computer knowledge. You want phone skills. You want whatever. So you just keep going down. You keep going down. Then you want other characteristics like, experience, driver's license, experience, whatever it is, 3 years of experience doing what they're doing, or maybe they have industry experience, whatever it is you're looking for. And then over here, the last one is character. So this might be, honest, hardworking, whatever it is. Okay. You put those, I don't care where you put them, just get a whole list up there. Now, the next step, now this is going to start looking like someone who can walk on water. So you're not looking for somebody who's got all of them. Now, the next step is to go through and say, all right, is it a must have or a would be nice, right? This would be nice, maybe, or, this is a must have and this is a must. And, you go through your whole list and get all your must haves and all your things. Now, this gives you the who of that you're looking for, like other characteristics. Now, what I see most people that are marketing for employees is they say, all right, well, you've got 6 years experience, blah, blah, blah. They don't talk about attitudes. So your ad might be something like, if you're detail oriented, friendly, you have a great attitude, you have some computer skills, you're honest, you're hardworking, you can drive, you have a valid driver's license and you have 6 years experience in our field, then you might be the person we're looking for. See how that works? You get the attitudes are more important than anything else. That gives you the who. The next step is you develop the positional description. Once you have the positional description in place, then between this and the positional description, then you can start adding. Now, the reason you need the positional description because all these online portals that we have, like ZipRecruiter and those sorts of places, they all want a positional description. So you need to have some attitude, skills, characteristics. You need the who, and you need the positional description so you can get out. Now, the next thing is you market for those kinds of people. Now, I'm in the process right now of looking for someone who can become a great coach who wants to help other businesses grow. They've likely got some experience in helping their own businesses grow, because that's just simply who we look for. So now, once you get this, then you begin to market for the people. Now you get a whole bunch of people in your net. Now you've got to start. Now, what I like to do is to invite them all in. We'll generally do it on Zoom to start with. Have a group interview to figure out, let them know a little bit more about our company, our vision, our mission, our culture, get them all in, and then we let them tell us a little bit of ours, and it becomes pretty clear who the major candidates are. Then we'll put them through multiple interviews. We'll do behavioral profiles. We're going to give them a whole barrage of things, that almost a gauntlet to go through. Now, in our case, they're going to have to prove that they can do some things. So we're going to actually have people, fill a workshop, for example, might be something we might have them do. You're going to want to give them some sort of a test drive before you actually make them an offer. People say, well, you can't make them do it. Yeah, you can. And if you have to pay them a little bit for a couple of days of work, pay them and then get them in. Then you can make your offer and take it from there. So then it really gets fun, because then you've got your whole onboarding system. So, hey, if this makes sense and you would like a little more information, you want to understand a little bit more about the hiring process, or you just need a hand or guidance or something, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to walk you through it. Hey, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And until we actually get to talk to each other, all the best.